Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode from holsingersflyshop.com. Bringing you another video today, and this week it's a nymph pattern, and I'm calling this one the JDPT. Reason being, I kind of merged two patterns here, the Jack Daniels nymph and a pheasant tail, and it's a fish catcher. I just had it out this morning. I just wanted to give it a little test run, and I managed to pick up a couple little fish like this little guy here, and had a good time being out on the water with only a couple minutes to fish. So anyways, guys, here you're going to see the fly, and then I'll talk to you a little bit about how I come up with it at the end. Okay, here you see the fly in the vise. Very, very good looking fly. Two-tone. I really like that part about it. And that's the important thing on this. Change the color of your thread, so you change that underbody color there. Let's get into tying it. For a hook, I'm using a Holsinger Sly Shop jig hook. This is the size 14. Tie it smaller, tie it bigger if you want. On that 14, I'm using a 3mm bead. This one's metallic silver from Moonlit. And then I'm going to start my thread on there. For thread, when we're using some Semperfli wax thread, this is 8/0 pale olive. And like I just said, change your color of your thread to get that different underbody, whatever color you want. Next thing we're going to put on is the tail on the back of this, which is pheasant tail. Just going to pull off about 6 or 7 fibers there. We're going to pinch them all together, get the tips all lined up, and we're going to make a tail out of this. So I'm going to bring my thread back towards the back here. Get the length of the tail. I don't want this to be too long, but I want it to be long enough that you see it. So about half the length of the body. There we go. And then wrap it back towards the bend of the hook, and then we're going to fold this back over. So fold your pheasant tail. This is going to become the back of your fly here in a second. And now we're going to put the rib on. For a rib, I'm using some small brassy ultra wire. This one's black. I use black, silver. You can use gold there if you want. Oops. And I like to wrap it on my side on the bottom. There we go. And again, wrap it back there to that tail, and then make nice smooth wraps. And get this all wrapped down. Now the next thing you want to do is just build a little bit of a body and smooth this out here. Back here at the back, you're going to have that little bit of a hump from folding your tail back over. So for the rest of the abdomen, I just want to smooth that out, kind of staying away from that hump and building up a nice even level body. Once you get that, we're going to pull that pheasant tail back up towards that bead. And I'm just going to tie it down right in behind that bead, making sure I stay right on the top. And I'm only going to take 2 or 3 wraps, just enough to hold it in place. And then we're going to come in with our wire and make a nice even rib up through here. And I'm only going to get about 3, 4 wraps tops on here. And we're going to tie that off. It's a very simple fly, very easy one. And it's a fish catcher. Just had it out this morning. So, get that wire wrapped down, pop it off of there, and then pull your pheasant tail back towards the back again. This is now going to become our wing case. So you see how I got about 1/3, less than 1/3 maybe, between my bead and where my wing case starts there. Now we're going to do just like the Jack Daniels fly. I'm going to come in with just a little bit of dubbing. And this dubbing here is Sculpin Golden Brown from Whitlock's. I just want a very small little piece of it here. Enough to change the color of my thread. I don't want to build up much in here. So I'm going to do about 1.5 inch long section here of dubbing on my thread. And then I'm going to make a dubbing loop out of that. And then in that, I'm going to put some cinnamon CDC fibers. So get my dubbing loop made. I'm going to take a cinnamon CDC feather here And I'm going to take about 3/4 of an inch of it off, put it in my clamp. As you can see here, I already got it in my CDC Swiss clamp. And I want to put it up towards the front. Now, for this part here, I want my CDC feathers, I want them to be up towards the front of the bead. So I'm going to put it a little bit further back whenever I make my dubbing loop here. I'm going to put it a little bit further back in my dubbing so it ends up being up at the front. There you can see how there's some dubbing and then there's the CDC. That's going to cause the CDC to all end up towards the bead whenever I wrap this on. And if I keep that nice and thin like I did, it's going to give me a couple wraps back here at the back with no CDC. Oops. And then I'm going to hit my CDC and start wrapping right in towards that bead. And I'm not going to build up too much of a dubbing body here in the thorax. So, a couple wraps, wrap this off. Got my dubbing loop tag. Then we're going to bring up, I'm going to pull all my CDCs down to the side and bring my pheasant tail up over towards the bead again. And tie that off. Trim off our fibers here. And then last thing I'm going to do, change the color of that olive thread. Use a brown marker to match that brown pheasant tail. And do a wet finish and we are done. You could leave the olive color there, that would be fine. I just like to blend it in there nice. And we are done. Oh, last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take all those CDC fibers, pull them up, and trim them down with my thumbnails. And you can see you got a great looking fly there. Nice two-tone underbody. So, great looking fly, and it catches fish for you. Okay guys, I hope you like that pattern. I really like this one. It's a twist of two patterns. It's throwing a pheasant tail, a variation of a pheasant tail in with a variation of the Jack Daniels nymph and mashing them together to come up with a really cool different pattern. I love two-tone patterns. You know, the top and the bottom, different colors, which is so natural. You know, a lot of the nymphs under the rocks, you lift them up, they're dark on top, light on the bottom. That checks this box, and that's why I love this fly so much. Give it a try. You're going to like it. One of the things, when I did the video for the Jack Daniels nymph, Corey in his video from Trout Bitten, he showed how he did this collar using the CDC and the dubbing, and I absolutely love doing that now. I use it on a lot of my patterns because it just works so nice, and it works great on this pattern. It makes a very nice buggy. Here you're going to see a picture of it. I had it in my hand underneath the water. It's just a buggy looking pattern with that CDC, that nice faint CDC in there. So give it a try. Use this technique on different patterns. It's very successful and it catches a lot of fish. Earlier in the week I was catching fish on Jack Daniels nymph, and I decided I want to try meshing it with something else because I like that technique so much that I know I'll catch fish on it if I tweak it a little bit. And this is what I come up with by tweaking it. So I hope you like the JDPT and add it to your box. If you want me to tie any for you, feel free to reach out to me at holsingersflyshop@gmail.com or any of the materials you might need to tie this one. As always, guys, thanks for supporting our website, and please go over and check it out at holsingersflyshop.com. So until next week when I bring you another video, I'm Shawn Holsinger.